Hello, all. Welcome to Pop Culture Feminists. I'm Scout.
I'm Lily.
Lily forgot her name for a second.
I did forget my name for a second.
And today, let's see, in the past we have covered tennis and Disney films. Today we're getting a little more niche. We are talking early to mid 2000s girl power movies.
Yay.
If you're thinking, what?
Then you didn't have the childhood that we had.
Exactly. If you're not immediately thinking about Princess Diaries, Bring It On, Cheetah Girls, Ella Enchanted, What a Girl Wants, then yeah, we just don't have the same experience.
Yeah. You're not a millennial / Gen Z cusp like we are.
That's true. We are right on that border.
Yeah, we're right in between. I think technically I'm a millennial and Scout is Gen Z.
That's super true. According to the
internet.
One of those really big research centers.
Right.
Pew?
What are those? What do they know, huh?
The Pew Research Center,
Pew.
I think. Pew, pew. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Well, let's kick it off.
Well, first of all, I want to say, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you might see somebody else in the studio, and that's Josh, and he's currently running a camera for us so we can...
for YouTube.
Yay!
Now I'm pointing at YouTube.
Shout out to
We're talking
YouTube.
a lot of people.
We're talking to everybody.
Talking to everybody.
Relate to us. Or else.
Watch our content.
Please view my content.
All right. Okay. So, let's kick this off with the Princess Diaries because I feel like that's going to be our big relatable draw of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's seen that.
Including Josh.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you're not familiar with Princess Diaries by some stretch of the imagination, then first of all, who are you? And second of all, it's a film about a young Anne Hathaway. Well, I mean, her name is Mia Thermopolis.
Yes, it is. It's quite a name.
And she is just an awkward teenager, and then she finds out that she is the heir to a throne of the unfortunately made-up country, Genovia. And Julie Andrews, a.k.a. Mary Poppins, plays her grandmother, the Queen.
Yes.
It's a very sweet movie.
It is a very sweet movie.
But you're going to see a common thread here among a lot of these movies. Which is basically, this is the quintessential part of the early to mid-2000s girl power movie.
Yeah.
Is our heroine is presented with a choice. In this case, see, the choice is what gets us every time.
Yeah.
Because it's always different. And I can appreciate that. In this particular case, she's faced with the choice of, do I basically give up any plan or choice for the rest of my life to become a queen? Because that's a really dedicated lifestyle for literally your entire life.
Yep.
And, well, or does she, just go on...
choose to be a normal teenager.
And then,
have a normal life.
Have a normal life, exactly. Yep. And, of course, young Anne Hathaway chooses to be a princess and eventually queen, as we'll see in Princess Diaries 2, which we can also talk about.
But I think she also, when you have a choice in a movie like that that's so divisive, I guess, where there are two very different options, I think you see characters often trying to navigate a choice between that, and I think we see her, try to live the life of a normal teenager while also accepting a responsibility that she has.
Right.
Or correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a hot minute since I've seen this.
Oh, no, you're so right. She, the trouble begins when someone leaks this news to the press, because it used to be a secret, and then everyone at school who was always mean to her because she was awkward now
because she wore glasses.
wants to be her fake friend.
Yeah.
Because she's a princess. And, of course, the guy is the worst. And I do believe that character's name is Josh. But, you know, it's just this guy that she's always had a crush on, even though her friend, Lily,
it's me.
knows that he's a jerk, but she totally has a crush on him anyway, because what else would you get from a 2000s girl power movie? But, of course, she gets to find out that he's a jerk via
him being a jerk to her.
Even
more of a jerk.
He does this really skeezy plot where he wants to be seen kissing her in front of news cameras.
Yeah, paparazzi.
Gross.
Yeah. It was super gross. Yeah. Don't they try to like catch her in like a swimsuit or something?
Yes. Well, they do, because that's the girls, the mean girls.
Oh, yeah.
They claim that they're saving her from the evil Josh who has just set her up, and they're like, "We're so sorry, Mia. He's a jerk. We're gonna help you. No one deserves that." And then they put her into a changing tent.
Yeah.
And then pull it down.
Yeah.
While she's changing.
Paparazzi around her, which is a gross thing to do to somebody.
Oh yeah, the villains in this.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh well, they're not villains because you're not thinking about like super villains.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like they're worse.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of everyday, just the worst kind of everyday scum.
Yeah, the stuff that really mean kids in high school would do.
I can't even.
Devious.
I can't. I was gonna say I can't even imagine. You know, anyone that I knew in high school. I don't even care who they were, ever doing anything as bad as that. That's just horrid.
Of course, they have to really make some
true.
bad villains in movies.
They gotta exaggerate some.
Yeah, so you really identify with the hero even more.
Can we talk about the mom? She was cool.
She was cool. She was like a painter.
Yeah, she was. She was a painter.
Like they lived in like an art studio.
And she supported her daughter. Yeah, they lived in a refurbished firehouse.
Oh yeah.
Fire station, because she got the pole she could slide down from her bedroom.
Yeah, it was very cool.
It was I was always jealous of that house. Oh, for sure. But yeah, her mom was like this free spirit artist, and then she literally supported Mia no matter what she wanted to do. She said, "You want to be queen? Awesome. You want to live a normal life? Awesome. You know, I will support you no matter which way you go." Even though that she absolutely could have been written as a character who like tried to sabotage Mia out of becoming queen, because it was kind of, you know, made clear that she didn't really think that was the best choice for Mia.
Yeah.
But she still said, "I'll support you no matter what." She was never gonna take that away from her or even, you know, try and talk her out of it.
Right.
It's I just love that. Okay, so I think my more prevalent points come in when we talk about Princess Diaries 2, because the plot of that one, for once again, those of you devilishly unfamiliar with the Princess Diaries series, sorry viewers, I'm giving you a hard time. They're just good movies. You should watch them. The plot is that she is now up to be queen.
Yes.
But a treacherous villain who wants his nephew to be king instead brings up this dusty old law that they haven't enforced in decades that says that she can't become queen without having a king at her side.
Yep.
Which, first of all, gross.
It's silly. Which, and her grandmother, who is the queen, has been doing that.
Exactly.
For, like, years and years now. So, it's like, okay,
decades.
Why are we dragging this up now? I mean, I know why we're dragging it up.
Right.
They don't want her to be queen.
That's exactly what Julie Andrews / the queen says, is I've been doing it without a king for literal, like, decades. Are you kidding me? you're going to enforce this on her now.
Yeah.
Why? But then the really old sleepy judge or what do you call those? Parliament person.
Yeah.
Wakes up suddenly and he's all old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Tom Post, by the way. Well, or Poston.
One of them.
Well, no, I only personally know his name, but it's because he dated my grandma.
Oh my gosh.
No,
okay.
seriously. Anyway,
That's crazy.
I know, a long time ago. Isn't that the weirdest thing?
Yes.
Before he was a movie star.
Wow.
Anyway. He's not a big name anymore.
Back to my point.
Yes. So he wakes up and he's supposed to be all, the old-fashioned stickler person, and he says, it's in the rules, we're going to follow it.
I don't think we're actually live.
Are we not?
You have to click publish.
Oh, no. Anyway, so, hello, Facebook. For those of you just joining us, we're talking about Princess Diaries.
Yes.
Back to what I was saying. So, of course, and the Parliament only gives her 1 month to find a husband. 1 month, not even a year.
We love it.
As if that's reasonable in any sense of anything.
Yeah.
But, whatever. So, she has this that was actually kind of a fun little scene. They have this little slideshow
Oh
of
my gosh, yes.
bachelors that she can meet.
Yeah, that is a funny scene.
And she settles on this one guy named Andrew Jacoby. I think
Probably Jacoby.
You're right. Yeah, it is Jacoby. He's like a duke or something. Ooh.
A duke.
And, he's cute and he seems nice. And she's like, huh. And then they go on some dates and they get engaged. And you think it's all fine. But this whole time, Anne Hathaway is also having run-ins with
the nephew.
The nephew who is plotted to be king.
Yeah.
Who...
I don't think he's in on the plot.
No, he's not. That's what I was about to say. I think he kind of knows there's a plot afoot.
Yeah.
However, he's not in support of it because he doesn't necessarily care if he's king so much as his uncle does. Anyway. So, she keeps having run-ins with him, and they're kind of flirty in that, I hate you, you're trying to take away my country sort of way.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, a very relatable teen experience.
Absolutely. Yes, and so, as you can probably guess, there's no spark between her and Andrew Jacoby, and she ends up falling in love with the nephew.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't get married to anybody.
Yes.
And Parliament changes their mind about the rule, and she gets to be queen by herself.
Yay!
Yay! Anyway, there's your win of feminism. I guess the win for the first one was like she can still sort of be her while choosing to be queen. But this one's a little more obvious. On the nail on the head for a feminist victory is that they changed the law so that no woman ever has to be faced with some stupid crap like that ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so while we're on the subject of Anne Hathaway movies,
and weird uncles.
That's true. Wow.
And evil uncles.
Princess Diaries 2 and Ella Enchanted might be the same movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, the love interest could be the same too. It's not, but it could be.
It could be.
They're pretty similar looking.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't familiar, oh gosh, Chris Pine plays the one in Princess Diaries 2, and I don't...
What? He does?
Yes.
Are you... What? Why don't I remember that?
Yes.
You'd think I would remember
the love
that.
interest in Princess Diaries 2 is Chris Pine.
Oh my gosh, I don't not believe you. I just didn't remember that.
And then the one in Ella Enchanted is kind of like a Chris Pine knockoff.
Yeah. He looks like Chris Pine. I don't know who he is. I don't think he has a big career now.
Yeah, no, he's not a big person. I'll look him up. Anyway, you talk about Ella Enchanted. I'm going to look him up.
So, if you're not familiar with Ella Enchanted, first of all, shame on you. It was also an extremely good movie that I watched
arguably even better than
Princess Diaries.
Princess Diaries.
Less
Although,
well known, but
yeah, what I'll say about Ella Enchanted is that I didn't watch it quite as much because for whatever reason it made me a lot sadder than Princess Diaries did. So like, I found it harder to watch even though it was really good.
The story of Ella Enchanted is that when Ella is born and she's a baby, she lives in kind of a, like a fantasy world, like with fantasy elements. Her fairy godmother, who is not a very good fairy godmother, comes to bestow a gift on her, but the gift that she ends up giving her is the gift of obedience, which means that she has to do what people tell her. If someone gives her a direct command, even like by accident, she has to do exactly what they say.
In the most literal sense.
And obviously that gets her into a lot of trouble as a kid and is obviously very frustrating.
Absolutely.
And she's a very, very strong-willed girl who doesn't want to be obedient, but she kind of has no choice.
And then her father, it kind of turns into a Cinderella situation,
her mother
I guess.
Passes away.
Note Ella Enchanted. Yeah. But so basically her father remarries after her mother passes away.
Yes.
To a wicked stepmom and 2 wicked stepsisters, Olive and Hattie.
Oh my gosh, hysterical characters, first of all.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think eventually they find out about her curse.
They do in the most unfortunate way.
Yeah, and they order her to say these horrible things to her best friend and not to be friends with her, which kind of pushes her over the edge. So she embarks on a quest to try to find her fairy godmother to break the curse.
Yeah, because the only friend she's had her entire life now thinks that she hates her because even though that's what kind of I never got. I mean, I guess there wouldn't be conflict without it, but like, if she's your best friend, tell her about the curse.
Oh, yeah.
Duh. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like, seriously, because then
she would
know that when you suddenly said awful things to her and you were crying while you were saying them, that it was something you were being ordered to do and not something you actually wanted to say.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And so as she goes on this journey, and she picks up some companions along the way, but one guy she runs into is the future, I guess the crown prince.
Yes.
Who is someone she has protested against.
She does protest against him because she protests against really the crown in total.
Crown,
because
what they're doing, like ogre racism or whatever it is.
I think it's giants.
Kind of interesting. Oh yeah, giants, yeah.
It's giants, but yes. She runs into the crown prince, Prince Charmant, played by Hugh Dancy, as I looked up. Even though I feel like his name is familiar, he really doesn't have
a lot of credits.
Going on. So anyway.
And of course, they kind of butt heads because he doesn't really care about politics, and she very, very much does, and she just thinks he's kind of a I don't know the word, loser. Yeah. But of course,
because she's passionate and he's kind of just like
apathetic.
Yeah, very apathetic.
Of course, their tension turns into a blossoming romance.
Because once again, we are talking early to mid 2000s girl power movies, super niche, and they all have basically the same storyline.
But unfortunately, his evil uncle, who wants the crown, he also finds out that Ella has to be obedient, and when he finds this out and he sees how close they're getting, he orders her to kill him.
So that she will go to jail and he can become king.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, ultimately, she ends up prevailing. She meets her fairy godmother, and instead of her breaking the curse, she comes close to killing Prince Charmant, but at the last second ends up breaking the curse herself through her own willpower.
Yep.
And of course, there is still a misunderstanding. She still goes to jail, but
Because
she tried to kill the
right.
prince.
Well, yeah, she drops the dagger right
And
behind
he's
his
like,
back.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I can't blame him all too much.
Yeah, it would be like, excuse me, you just tried to kill me.
And she's like, but I didn't.
But I didn't want to. And it's like, I don't really believe
Yeah.
you. But, ultimately, she breaks out. She stops the evil uncle.
Who's going to kill him a different way
Yeah.
via a poison crown.
Yeah, he accidentally puts on the poison crown and he just... Well, he doesn't die
He gets all...
in the movie.
Ooh.
No one really dies for real in this movie, but, have a happy ending when they sing a beautiful song at the end.
Oh my gosh.
They sing
Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Yes.
That is a great
Oh,
scene
hold on.
where
Okay, let's
everyone
talk
is-
about it, but I'm going to see if I can find it.
in the...
Yes.
Yeah, we're queuing that up for you to listen to
No,
we
we don't have it. We don't have
We
it.
would if we could, we
That's
would.
a shame.
But yeah, a very good movie. And actually, I mean, the scene where she's trying not to kill the prince is so, like, gut-wrenching. It's, like, so sad.
Yeah.
You
I
feel
know.
so
See,
bad for
okay.
her.
Exact. Well, even the scene
Yeah, where
before
she-
that, when she's trying to talk to the fairy godmother, she finally finds her fairy godmother, and she says, "Please undo this horrible curse from me."
Yeah.
And the fairy godmother's like,
so offended. That
yeah,
she
she's
doesn't
like, "How
appreciate it.
dare you not accept or not love my gift?"
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, that makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, when she's trying not to kill the prince, that's what I was talking about. That's why I feel like I didn't watch this one quite as much, because it just made me... That and the part
Yeah.
when the sisters make her tell her best friend
Yeah,
that she doesn't want to be friends with her anymore because of the color of her skin.
Yeah.
Like, because the sisters are racist, they make Ella say some racist
Yeah,
things.
there were some...
and it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
You only realize looking back as an adult that there were some interesting themes of, like, race and political protesting. It's a very, very interesting movie.
Yeah, stop
Arguably-
stealing the land from the giants.
Yeah, arguably more...
Stop carting away the elves.
Yeah. More empowering of a narrative than perhaps Princess Diaries.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Oh,
she has to become pretty and dainty in order to
Absolutely
prevail.
agree. Yes, her success in Princess Diaries is absolutely based off of a makeover. But I mean, and an emotional makeover, but mostly
Yeah.
the physical makeover.
You know, and it's refreshing to see a film in which a woman being extremely strong-willed is something that's celebrated and is a key tenet of her heroism.
Right. And despite the fact that everyone
Mm-hmm.
wishes her to shut down her will, she
Yeah.
says, nope.
No.
I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be me. Okay, well, those are all the Anne Hathaway movies we had, but since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and say that our Woman of the Week is, shock and surprise, Anne Hathaway.
What?
I know. Okay, so Anne Hathaway, for those of you who don't keep up with her, first of all, is a huge, all across the board human rights activist, which makes her an awesome feminist in addition to many other things. But specifically, the reason she is our Woman of the Week this week is because of the inspiring, just absolutely jaw-dropping, inspiring speech that she gave at the Human Rights Campaign dinner this last week. If you haven't listened to it, I recommend you go and listen to it. I can give a brief summary, but you should really go hear her say it. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. Just find it. Basically, she reminds everyone that from birth we are all subject to this overwhelming myth that there is a centric race, a centric gender, a centric sexual orientation, and that all the other ones are other to said, like, default.
Yeah.
You know? And that myth is perpetuated so deeply within our culture, but it's nothing more than that. It's a myth. There is no, like, she says that, we're taught that white is the default race, and it's not. There is no default. They are not other to us. We are all equally other from each other, I guess.
Yeah.
And that transgender is not circling around cisgender. Cisgender is not the default.
Right.
And that straight is not the default. And it's a beautiful speech. She delivers it so passionately, and I am so thankful for all of the work that Anne Hathaway does for the Human Rights Campaign.
Yeah.
Every day, honestly.
Yeah.
She's one of those celebrities who's doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, guys, we are going to bring you back in with some Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper, and we will see you in a moment. Hello, guys. Welcome back. That was just Speechless by Lady Gaga.
That old school Gaga, that's what I like.
I can't say I recognize the song, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
I love her less well-known stuff. But that's not what our podcast is about this week, so
we're not talking Lady Gaga this week.
Maybe we will.
If you are just joining us, we are the Pop Culture Feminists. I'm Scout.
And I'm still Lily. Or just now Lily.
She's just now Lily.
Depends on when you tuned in.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and we are talking a really niche topic today. Early to mid 2000s girl power movies.
Yay!
Woo!
AKA the movies of our childhood.
Yeah, basically. All right, Lily, I'm gonna let you choose which one we kick off this block with.
Ooh, we get to go with one that I'm an expert in. And I think that I'm going to go with A Cinderella Story.
All right.
Of course, Hilary Duff, Chad Michael Murray. Oh, Chad Michael Murray was the crush of the early 2000s.
Oh, absolutely.
Lily. What a hottie.
Lily.
Yes.
Waiting for you is like waiting for rain in this drought.
Oh my gosh, yes. An excellent quote from A Cinderella Story. If you haven't seen A Cinderella Story, the basic plot I think you'll be quite familiar with, as it is Cinderella story.
Is it? Oh my goodness, Lily, I didn't even pick up on that. Wow.
She's not called Cinderella. Her name, Hilary Duff's character, is named Sam.
Sam.
But what?
Oh wait. What's the mom's voice? Sam.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what's that actress's name? Because she's fantastic.
She is fantastic.
She's also in Legally Blonde.
Yes, she is. She is the friend on Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about Legally Blonde too, but right now we're talking Cinderella Story.
Yeah.
Go. I'll look up her name.
So, as happens in the original Cinderella, her mother, we never find out really what happened to her, but she grew up with her dad, who owns a diner, and he teaches her baseball, and her life is great until he meets a wicked stepmother who has two little stepsisters for her. And, that alone isn't so bad because she still has her father, but they live in California, so an earthquake happens when she is a young girl, and that her father passes away in that earthquake, trying to save all of his family members.
It's really sad.
And then, so she grows up. Her stepmother takes control of the diner and the house, and
Jennifer Coolidge, by the way.
Oh, yes, Jennifer Coolidge.
Plays the stepmom.
She's
and
excellent in that movie.
The friend in Legally Blonde.
Yes.
Continue.
Yep. So she grows up, unhappy, doing chores for her stepmother and her stepsisters, working in the diner for no pay, and we meet her later as a teen. She's trying to get into college. She applies to Princeton because that's where the princesses go. They go to Princeton,
yes.
Apparently. She has a friend who's kind of like a geeky theater kid who's a very hilarious character. And
Carter. I forgot about him.
And she has an online boyfriend, which I think
AOL chat room.
Yeah, which might have been the first online relationship we saw in a movie like that.
Oh, I think so.
And it's, that's definitely something that's even more common now, but back then, it was kind of like, ooh, mysterious. This boy that you don't know. But she knows he goes to her school. But it turns out...
But the fact that he won't say who he is so weird.
It is.
It's fine if your relationship's a secret, but don't keep your identity a secret.
Yeah,
That's weird.
They kind of are just keeping their identities from each other. But they both know they go to the same school. But it turns out that this boy is the most popular boy in school.
Captain of the football team, I think.
I actually don't remember what his character's name is. Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah, Austin Ames.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that.
Yes.
Austin Ames? Sam is Cinderella? But,
man.
Austin Ames, most popular boy in school, is the boy that she's been talking to online, and
he's secretly sensitive, but none of his friends could ever know that.
And his dad wants him to go to I don't know what school, but not Princeton, where he wants to go.
Yeah, his dad wants him to go somewhere for football, and he wants to go to Princeton for not football.
What are you doing, son? You're giving up your dream. No,
Dad, I'm giving up your dream.
We know this movie way too well. But
absolutely.
No, what happens is there's a Halloween dance at school, and Sam's finally
a masquerade themed.
Of course, conveniently. She's finally gonna meet up with him.
Did anyone's school IRL ever throw a masquerade party? Because mine sure didn't.
Well, it was in California.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the trick. We needed to grow up in California.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna go to this ball and meet him. But of course, as happens in the original Cinderella, her stepmom is like, no, you're not going. So she kind of has to sneak around in order to be able to go to the ball to meet this boy.
Yes, and the waitresses at the restaurant who still have known her since she was a child and hate the stepmom and when we're friends with her dad and whatnot, help her get a dress and everything.
Oh my, that's an amazing character too. She actually, the dress that Sam wears to the ball is what was supposed to be the godmother's wedding dress, and that's a really touching scene.
Oh
between
yeah,
them.
That's so true.
But,
oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
So she makes it to the ball. She meets the whatever.
I know.
The dance.
I just laugh about
school
that.
Dance. She meets up with Austin Ames, who conveniently dressed as Prince Charming, for no reason.
And she is vaguely Cinderella-esque.
Yeah, she's wearing a mask, so he doesn't know who she is.
This mask
barely
covers even a single section of her face.
No.
This is honestly the original meme of our childhood was, why don't you know who she is?
Yeah.
That mask covers the space between her eyes and her eyebrows and her eyes and the top of her cheekbones.
Yeah.
What about that is so recognizable that you can't see her without it?
Yeah, I think it's also implied that she's kind of like a nobody around school,
yeah,
so that's why. Even though he does know her because he talks to her multiple times at the diner when she's Sam. But anyway, he doesn't know who she is, but they spend the night bonding, dancing, talking, but she has to leave, and instead of a shoe, she ends up dropping her cell phone.
Oh, no.
So they make it back. The stepmom doesn't catch her, but then it's Austin Ames's quest to find out who she is.
Who is his
Cinderella? So he posts all these flyers and everything, but she's like, even though they had this really strong connection, she's too scared. She's too nervous.
Because who is
Yeah, she's diner girl.
She's diner girl, and he's Austin Ames, captain of the football team.
Yeah, and so, but. Unfortunately, someone ends up putting the pieces together before Austin Ames does, and that's her wicked stepsisters. And the stepsisters go to Austin Ames's ex-girlfriend, who's mean and horrible.
She's pretty
the
girl.
Mean girl.
Honestly, bad stereotype, but
and they're
so
like,
it'd be.
okay, we're gonna teach her a lesson. So they put on this skit. This is a weird moment.
That's
but
yeah.
it's weird that the teachers
once
let it
again,
go on.
it's very just over the top
it's
awful.
So mean. They do this skit in front of the whole school at the pep rally about how this frog prince is finding a princess, but the princess is a maid and all that, and they read like her actual messages that she was sending to him in front of the whole school.
Oh, I know.
And she's like, "Oh my god,"
horrifying.
But she can't do anything. So, and they're like, they reveal that it's actually her, and the guy is just like, "What?" And he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's actually the worst part. Honestly,
he just looks away. He's like, "Oh."
Their intent is to embarrass her and like
And
basically
succeed.
horrify her.
Yeah.
By, revealing her identity.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this could have been avoided if Austin was like,
I don't
Sam, we had such a good time the other night, and we always talk over these messages, and it's super heartfelt, and just be my girlfriend forever.
Yep.
But he just goes, oh.
And he doesn't do anything. And
yeah.
She runs away crying.
Because who wouldn't in that situation?
Yeah. And not only that, she goes running home crying to her house and finds out that she hasn't made it into Princeton. Well, according to her stepmother has doctored a letter that says she hasn't gotten into Princeton.
Even though she absolutely did.
Yeah, because she wants to keep her as her worker at the diner, which is horrible.
Oh, yeah. Bordering on
So that's just the icing
slavery,
on the cake. Yeah. So she's just very... everything looks like it's bad for her, and her friend is like, I know that your life sucks right now, but just come to the football game with me. I think it'll be good for you. So she goes into the locker room to confront
Austin, which is such a good little scene, which is where my quote was from earlier, where she says, waiting for you is like waiting for rain in this drought. And anyway, really good scene, iconic, honestly.
And actually, one thing, she manages to stand up to her stepmother because she wants to go to the game, and the stepmother's like, no, you're working tonight, blah, blah, blah. And when she slams the door of the diner, the stepmom, a guitar rips off the wall and rips the wallpaper, and underneath is a quote that her dad had, and it says, never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. And that inspires her to say no to her stepmother. And then she quits her job at the diner, and everyone quits with her because they're loyal to her and not the mom.
Yeah, because the stepmom was lame. The only reason that the other people stayed at the diner ever was for Sam.
Yeah, the godmother is like, the only reason I have put up with you for all of these years is because of that girl. And now that she's free of you, there is nothing stopping me from kicking your butt. And she's like, Sam, hold my earrings.
Wonderful moment. Although, once again, kind of rolls onto a stereotype.
Some stereotypes about black women.
That maybe should have been left out of the film.
Yeah.
But still a really kind character and a really lovable character. So,
Yeah. And so
we've made strides since then, I like to think.
She confronts Austin and is basically like, I'm done with you because you didn't defend me and all of this. And then she stays for the football game, but watching him is just too much. And she's like, I have to go. But when he sees her leaving, he's like, I can't let this happen. She's so wonderful. And that's when it's you're throwing away your dream. No, Dad, I'm throwing away yours. And he leaves the fields to go kiss her in the stands, and everything's magically fixed.
Yes, and she finds out that she did, in fact, actually get into Princeton.
Yeah, so they go to Princeton together.
Yay!
Yay, they did it.
Yeah, okay, so this one sort of has a happy ending based on, like getting a man. But she, found herself first before that.
Yeah.
In the nick of time.
Managed to stand up to her horrible stepmother.
And honestly, the guy who left her out to dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did she stay with him? I don't know. He made a mistake, I guess, and we just move on from that.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. We wanted the happy ending, so we'll allow it.
We'll allow it. Yeah, exactly. All right, Lily.
Yes.
I think it's time for your top movie on this list.
It's time.
It's time for the Cheetah Girls.
Yes.
Fun fact.
Have you not seen the Cheetah Girls?
No, I was going to say, fun fact. Lily once had a Cheetah Girls themed birthday party.
I did. I think I was turning either 9 or 10. I had a Cheetah Girls themed birthday party. We sang karaoke from the Cheetah Girls.
I was going to say, I better have been Cheetah Girls karaoke.
Yes.
By the way, I looked. Unfortunately, there's no Cheetah Girls on in the library in here, which is a dang shame.
How dare they?
Because I really want to hear
What
the one about princesses.
Oh yeah, there is. They do sing like a Cinderella. They're like, I don't want to be like Cinderella, waiting like on a man and all that. It's a good song.
I'm gonna be my own hero.
Yeah, and actually, I don't think any of them end up with like boyfriends.
I don't think
there is
so.
this boy who has a crush on Raven Simone, but they don't like get together. And
Raven
that's
Simone.
Yeah, Raven Simone's in that film, and some other girls.
She was also in Princess Diaries too. FYI.
Yeah. It's Raven Simone and a bunch of girls who never went on to do anything else. But
rough.
But I'm just being honest. But they were very good in that movie, and I don't think I'm going to go throughout the whole plot of Cheetah Girls because there's like 4 different side stories because there's 4 Cheetah Girls.
Whole lot going on.
The main point is they're a singing group and they've been together for a long time, but they are like getting their lives are pulling them in different directions. They're getting like offers from this record label, but the record label wants them to change everything about themselves. And the main girl, Raven Simone's character, Gabriella, I think is her name.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
She wants to go along with it because she really wants them to have their big break and doesn't think they're going to get another chance. But the rest of the girls want to stay true to themselves. And so they kind of go their separate ways and are all angry and sad at each other. But at the end, they end up coming back together and moved by the power of their friendship.
No,
and
her name is not Gabriella. It's Galleria.
Oh, Galleria Garibaldi or something.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But they end up coming back together as a group and winning the talent show and uniting apparently all of New York City.
The song is called Cinderella, by the way.
So, but yeah, it was, it is actually a Disney movie. I know we didn't touch on it last week, but there was
a lot of Disney movies.
More animated movies
true.
last week, except for Maleficent. But a very good movie, very, I think, different from a lot of the movies at that time because it's about a group of women kind of going through their own struggles. Like, they each have their own life struggles that are very different, which is very interesting. It's a very diverse group of women because I think 3 out of the 4 of them are actually women of color, which is, you never see that. You never get to see that in a movie. And their main goals aren't hinging on finding love or finding a man. Their main goals hinge on staying together as a group and being Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters.
Absolutely.
And having their own, kind of growl power / girl power.
Growl power.
Which they gain through, solidarity with one another and supporting each other as women, which is not something you get to see in every movie.
Almost no movies.
Almost none movies.
In fact, yeah.
None movies with Left B.
Yep. Exactly.
So,
where are the other films like this? We don't know.
I mean, banging soundtrack, very important movie to me as a kid and now.
Yeah, if you can think of other movies like that,
hit
us up on our Facebook page or our Twitter page, Pop Culture Feminists or at Pop Culture Fems. Anyway, for now, I'm going to leave you with our trivia question.
Ooh.
I know. It's very exciting.
I love our trivia question.
We need some interaction up in here, guys. So
please.
Answer on Facebook, answer on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can call in. I'll give you the number in a second. But our question this week is, who is credited with the first use of the term girl power?
Oh.
Since we're talking girl power, who was the first person
who done it
credited with that? I thought it was, I'll give you guys a hint, I thought it was going to be older than it was. So, all right, we are taking you to Grow Up by Paramore. You can call us to answer the trivia question at 405-325-5296. Once again, that is 405-325-5296, or you can answer it on Facebook or Twitter. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. Hey there, guys. We are back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are the Pop Culture Feminists, and this week we are talking about early to mid 2000s girl power movies.
Yes.
Very niche this week, but we feel like there's a fair amount of people who can relate to this. We've already been talking the Princess Diaries, we talked about Enchanted, we talked about Cheetah Girls, and we talked about A Cinderella Story.
Yes.
So now I want to talk about Legally Blonde because that's probably my favorite on this list. I mean, I love all of them, don't get me wrong, but I am a big Legally Blonde fan. I was telling those of you who tuned in last week that I watch Moana way too much because we were talking about Disney last week. And basically, if I'm not watching Moana, I'm watching Legally Blonde. So... yeah, we're covering all my favorite topics here.
Yes. That's a movie.
Listen, I think it's straight blasphemous if no one doesn't know, if anyone doesn't know Legally Blonde, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because there might be someone out there. And as I said earlier, viewers, sorry, we're just giving you a hard time because we love these movies and we think you should see them. But, moving on. So, Legally Blonde is the story of Elle Woods, who
Queen,
played by what is her Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, Reese Witherspoon.
Sorry, blanked for a second. Reese Witherspoon is an awesome person, by the way. You should follow
she's great.
all the stuff that she's doing. But we're talking about Legally Blonde right now.
Yeah. This
is the story of a fashion major, sorority girl all the way, who's portrayed at first as very, just
materialistic,
shallow, feather-brained, honestly.
Yes.
Like
boy obsessed.
Yes, because the first part that we see is that, her boyfriend of all of college and high school.
Maybe. I think all of college at least.
Yeah, absolutely all of college.
At
least 4 years. Because they're about to graduate from their bachelor's degree, and he said he planned a special evening for her, and so she thinks he's going to propose.
Everyone in the sorority house is pumped.
They're all so excited for her because it promotes like a bad stereotype of sorority girls overall because basically they're all like, oh, why can't I get married? That's all my that's my whole goal.
Yes.
But yeah, well, all of these movies are going to have some pitfalls in them, unfortunately. But right now we're going to look over that as long as we address it, right? And we're going to talk about the good things. So, Elle goes to this dinner, and instead of proposing, her boyfriend dumps her, and it sucks. But then she gets really determined. He says that she's not serious enough for him, and she's going to win him back, so she decides to become a serious girl, like a Vanderbilt.
Yes.
That makes me laugh so that scene in the nail shop where she says, I need to be like her, and that random old lady says, why would you want to look like her?
But how do you become a serious Girl Scout?
By going to law school.
Not just law school.
Oh, Harvard Law School.
Harvard Law School.
Where
her boyfriend's going.
What is his name?
Warren. And his new girlfriend, who's a serious girl.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet, but yes, Vivian.
Sorry, I jumped ahead.
No, it's okay. She follows Warren off to East Coast Law School. By the way, she's very West Coast, and she feels very out of place when she gets to Harvard.
Well, yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Yeah, but she does get in.
Yes. Oh, because of her.
She studies very hard.
She studies really hard, and then she makes an admissions essay, which is so funny.
Oh, my God.
It's a video essay. Anyway. Basically, they let her in for some sketchy reasons, but
they're like, we've never had a fashion major.
But she did do really well in her LSAT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It helps that her parents have a lot of money. But anyway.
yeah. So-
Yee.
So she gets in and she finds Warner. It's Warner.
Warner. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Me
It's
too.
very close.
Me too.
One of them.
And he is engaged to somebody else. Her name is Vivian, and she
Yes.
is a serious girl.
Mm-hmm. An old money family.
Yup. East Coast old money.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Vanderbilts, but
Yeah.
not.
You know. And a big snob.
Oh, yeah, totally. She hates Elle right away.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, how did you even get here? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so their conflict escalates, and she really wants to win back Warner.
Yes.
And she gets chosen, to everyone's surprise and to Vivian's dismay,
Mm-hmm.
to be on... Let's see. Warren, Vivian, and her are all chosen to be, like, assistants to a law firm
Mm-hmm.
over the summer.
Yeah, like interns.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And they get to work on this huge case together.
Mm-hmm. With Victor Garber.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever his character's name.
Yeah,
it's
we don't
Victor
know.
Garber.
Yeah. And so, it turns out that she knows the woman their client. She
Yeah.
knows the client who's being charged with murder.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I know she's innocent. And then she even goes so far as to get a real, like, alibi out of her, which no one else has been able to get. And the only
Mhm.
reason that... Is it Brooke Shields? Who plays the...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think...
It's Brooke Shields.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think so. That sounds right to
I
me.
think, I'm right as well. Anyway, trusts her, so she gives her her real alibi, which she won't give to anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
even though she's being charged with murder.
Mm-hmm.
But then she makes Elle swear that it's a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And so Elle goes back and she's like, I got the alibi. And they're like, great, what is it? And she goes, I can't tell you. And
They're like, you're being stupid.
yeah, they're basically like, you're stupid. And then, okay, first of all, Warner becomes really icky, as if he wasn't icky already.
Yeah.
But
he proves his ickiness.
he proves his ickiness because he's basically like... He's like, oh, you should do it. You would really prove yourself
Mm-hmm.
as a serious girl. Like...
Yeah.
And
Manipulating
this is
her.
right in front of Vivian, mind you, his fiance.
Yeah.
But he is basically
"What?"
like, oh, I'd consider taking you back if you did this thing.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yep.
Anyway, and this whole time, Luke Wilson
Mm-hmm.
is around.
This older guy at the law firm.
Yeah.
Not
he-
older. Not
Oh,
a
yeah,
creepy
no,
amount
no.
of older. Like
He's
a
just like,
graduate.
he's yeah.
Something.
he has finished his law degree,
Yeah.
we believe.
Yes.
But like
He
only
works
recently.
for Victor Garber.
Yes. Okay. So he's around, and he and Elle are kind of
Flirting.
flirting, but not in. She's kind of still thinking, I want Warner back, whatever. And so. It then comes the really even grosser part, because like if
Mhm.
Warner weren't bad enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he's so
Icky.
nasty and icky.
Mm.
But then comes the boss, the professor
Yeah.
who chose her for this law internship,
Yeah.
who is basically like, oh, I promise you a job and success if you have sex with me.
Yeah.
And
And, like, I only chose you for this because...
because I assumed you would have sex with me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she gets really upset because
Yeah.
she thinks she doesn't deserve the spot anymore.
hmm And Vivian sees this go down, and she gets the wrong impression, like Elle purposefully slept with him in order to get the position.
Right, yeah,
So
'cause she
she
only
says
catches the
something
end of it.
mean and horrible.
So, which makes Elle more upset. Oh, because at that point, Elle and Vivian had kind of started becoming
yeah.
friends over Warner's ickiness.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, they kind of had a camaraderie going
yes,
on.
until this, which kind of
Yeah.
threw it apart. And then she runs into Luke Wilson as she's running away. She's like, I'm going back to LA. I don't belong here, blah, blah, blah.
hmm
And then she tells him what happened, and he said, no, stay.
Mhm.
he doesn't say, like, I'll kick his butt, but, I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of implied. He's like, I'll have him fired even though he's my boss.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'll do something. Just stay.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, I gotta go. And then later, Luke Wilson ends up explaining this story to Vivian, who's
Mhm.
like, oh, no.
I did it bad.
I jumped to a bad conclusion.
Mhm.
Yikes. And so,
Something.
yeah.
I don't remember where the bridge in this
Yeah, I
story
know.
is. But,
I'm blanking a little bit too. But basically, she comes back and she gets to take over as the lead lawyer on
Yeah, they cite
the girls'
like this,
trial because
They cite like this regulation law
where
that-
a law student can be the lead lawyer on a trial if she has a professional who
Yeah,
will
who's-
supervise her.
yeah.
And Luke Wilson offers to do this, even though his boss is like,
don't.
he's like, I'm going to fire you if you do this. And he was like, great, I quit.
I'm still a lawyer, sucker.
Yeah. And so basically then Elle proves that she's a good lawyer by winning the case without revealing the alibi.
Yep.
So she keeps her sorority sister's trust
Mm-hmm.
and shows that she's an excellent lawyer, and it's really awesome. And then she graduates at the top of her class, and
Mm-hmm.
then she gets engaged to Luke Wilson. Emmett. His name's Emmett.
Emmett.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
and
these
she
details.
And Vivian are friends.
Yes, and Warner is
sucks.
left all alone.
Mm-hmm.
Ha.
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 Suck it, Warner.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, and then there's Legally Blonde 2.
I have not actually seen
Okay.
Legally Blonde. So.
Okay, so this one's dog-based, because if you are not familiar with
Yes.
Legally Blonde, I didn't actually mention this, but, like, a subset of this whole story is that she has a chihuahua named Bruiser that she takes with her everywhere, and it's really cute. Anyway, so she
He's
finds out in the
fantastic.
second one that Bruiser's mom is a lab animal
Oh no.
who's being tested on, and so
Yeah.
she goes to get the mom freed, but then they're like, we can't give this dog to you. And so she basically, I'm trying to make this one shorter because my last explanation was really long.
Mm-hmm.
She rallies a bunch of people together to sign a petition, and then she goes before this council and she appeals
Mm-hmm.
to them and their pets. And anyway, it's really sweet. And she wins the case and the dogs are all let free.
Oh my gosh.
But once again, she's a really good lawyer, even though at the beginning of the movie, she starts out fresh with all these new people, and she's still, that's what's awesome about Legally Blonde 2, is that, you know, even though she becomes, like
A serious girl.
this really good lawyer, she's still her. She's still really bright and peppy, and she's still, like, really feminine, which, you know, obviously, you know, that's not, like, oh, you have to be feminine instead of masculine. But, like, it's just such a trope that, oh, to be serious and successful, you have to get rid of this
Hyper
hyper-femininity, yeah, and be slightly more masculine to be successful. But she stays all pink, nails always done, hair always done, makeup always done, just fashion, fashion, fashion. And she's still an amazing lawyer because she comes in and they don't take her seriously at the beginning of the second one because she's working with new people.
Yeah.
And then she proves them wrong
Yep.
because
Again.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Legally Blonde
Same.
2 and 1.
Yeah.
There's a third one. It's not as good, unfortunately. It's got her nieces who are twins. I don't
Okay.
remember. Yeah,
We'll just
it,
pretend that one.
it goes a little off board, but
Yeah. Isn't there also a musical?
oh, there absolutely is.
Yeah.
I learned one of the dances to that.
Awesome.
I did. It was great. The bend and snap dance.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That would make an amazing dance.
It did make an amazing dance. It was really fun to learn.
Uh-huh.
But my back was dead the next day because of all the
All the bending and
snapping. Yes. In fact. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Lily.
Trivia.
Trivia. Every week, guys, I'm so sorry. We come back and we get really excited about our new topic
We'll
and
be
we
like,
just
you'll never know the answer.
we don't want you to know the answer. Well, someone got it right on our Facebook. Congratulations to Blake. Although he admitted he used Google, but that's fine. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for playing with us. The question was, who was first credited with using the term girl power? And the answer is the U.S. punk band Bikini Kill. And you can tell this is from the 90s because they published it in a zine.
Fantastic.
If you're not familiar with the concept of a zine, it's basically
It's just what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a non-professionally published like magazine, but mostly people would just like they'd layer a bunch of photos on a photocopier and photocopy them onto one page as if they had edited them there as we would today.
Yeah.
And it's usually made out of just like regular paper, and it's only a few pages long.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Bikini Kill published a zine called Girl Power.
Excellent.
Anyway,
Good job, guys.
so let us talk about another classic one before we go to music,
All right.
which would be Mean Girls.
Yes.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes. The other ones that are in that movie.
We don't care so much about the actual Mean Girls.
Amanda Seyfried.
Seyfried. Yeah,
however
she
you
plays
say it.
Karen.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever saw
yeah.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah, who went on to have a great career, obviously.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
crazy.
don't really know
I
about
kind
the
of
rest
forgot
of the
about
people
that.
in that movie, but
Yeah. Anyway, Mean Girls is exactly what it sounds like. You should know this one.
it's
but
about Mean Girls.
It's about Mean Girls in high
Spoiler
school.
alert.
Lindsay Lohan moves there from Africa and finds herself ingratiated with the popular Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
I
I can't remember why they like her. Like, what did she do? Scout doesn't know either.
I know.
It's been too long
It's
since
been a
we've
while.
seen this.
Well, I know that she's
Something
not friends
happened.
with them at first.
No, they don't like her at first. She's friends with kind of these two other
Yeah.
kind of not geeky but outcast characters.
Yes, but then somehow she finds herself
yeah, they're
ingratiated
into
with
it.
them. Which I would like to point out that both Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are in this movie.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Comedy duo, even though they don't actually have any interaction in this movie. Tina Fey
No.
is the teacher, and Amy Poehler plays Regina George, who is the lead Mean Girl, her mom.
Yeah.
Honey, you guys need anything? Snacks? Condoms?
I'm not like a regular mom. I'm like a cool mom.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And she clearly has a boob job. It's ridiculous. That whole
Mhm.
movie is a little ridiculous. But anyway,
Of
so
course.
somehow Lindsay Lohan finds herself ingratiated with the Mean Girls, but then she doesn't want to be anymore. But Regina George, who's the lead Mean Girl, sabotages her by saying that this really mean book that Regina George has written was
Yeah.
actually written by Lindsay Lohan's character,
Mhm.
and takes it to the school, and yeah,
Mhm.
things ensue.
Things do ensue.
But Lindsay Lohan finds her true friends at the end,
Yes.
who are not the Mean Girls.
No.
And Regina George gets hit by a bus,
Yes.
but she doesn't die.
no, obviously that would be probably
It was
too
a little
dark,
dark,
for a
yeah.
movie like that.
And
But she
what's her
does
face?
super get hit by a bus.
Yeah, non-Karen, but the third one.
Yeah.
Oh,
The one whose hair
not-
is
yeah,
full of secrets.
None for you.
No, not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's none for. Oh man, whatever her name is, the third one who's not Amanda Seyfried or
Mhm.
Regina George.
hmm
She gets to be a weather person. No, Amanda Seyfried's the weather person, isn't she?
Yes, I don't remember the secrets girl.
Me neither.
Who,
Wow.
like, her dad invented Hot Pockets or something. Something like that.
Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh.
I'm, like, getting
No, I
sort of
know.
the gist, but I'm
Man,
just missing
I thought
the
I knew
details.
Mean Girls better than I did, apparently.
Yeah. I definitely watched it less than some of the other movies on this
Yeah.
list, but we all definitely saw it. I think a lot of things happen in that movie,
Oh,
so
they
it's
do.
hard to kind of give a synopsis that
Yeah,
captures
so the point is-
humor of it.
Lindsay Lohan wins homecoming queen,
Mm-hmm.
but then she breaks apart her crown and
Mm-hmm.
gives it to all the people.
Gets
and
a
it's
boy, I think.
Really sweet.
There's a boy.
There is a boy, but I don't know if she ends
Does
up with
she
him.
end up with him? I just assumed that she would. It's the guy who looks cute with his hair slicked back.
Well, I remember the character's name is Aaron Samuels.
Aaron Samuels.
But does he end up being a good guy?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
So
All right, let's move on past Mean Girls.
apparently we don't know it as well. as
Yeah,
we
I
thought.
know. We came in here, we were like, we're going to talk about Mean Girls, but we
Mhm.
don't know Mean Girls.
But definitely one that fits neatly into that camp. so.
Absolutely. Alrighty, y'all. We're going to take you to some music. When we come back, we'll do our last block of early to mid 2000s films. But right now, we've got you with Paramore, Fast in My Car. Alrighty, guys. And that was, no doubt, with the song Spiderwebs.
Yee.
Such a good song. I'm all about No
Oh, we
Doubt.
love
It's just
No
good.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we should see if they have any of her solo stuff on here, actually.
She was in Trolls. Just saying.
Was she really?
Yeah, she played the twin trolls. But this podcast isn't about trolls, so
No, it's not.
shut up, Lily.
Unfortunately. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are your pop culture feminists. I'm going to keep reminding you of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, we are talking about the very niche subject of early to mid 2000s girl power movies.
Yay.
If you are just joining us, earlier we were talking about Princess Diaries and Ella Enchanted and how Anne Hathaway is our Woman of the Week because of the awesome, awesome speech she gave at the HRC dinner earlier this week. And then we talked about, oh man, so many others. But right now, we were just talking about Mean Girls, and while we're still talking about Lindsay Lohan, I'm going to roll in with Herby Fully Loaded. Now, this one I can understand if maybe not as many people have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this movie as a kid. I adored it.
Yes.
Um,
I definitely did too. It's been...
it convinced me that my lucky number was 53, i.e.
Yes.
Herbie's number.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a...
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I will give you guys this information. For a long time, my email address as a child was Lucky Herbie 53.
Oh my gosh, that's terrific.
Not a joke.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but I definitely remember watching it frequently as a kid.
Okay, so to clue y'all in, Lindsay Lohan plays a teenager looking for her first car.
Mm-hmm.
Her family, just to give you a little bit of background, is like a race car driving family,
Mm-hmm.
and she, I think, has always wanted to join them,
Yeah,
but hasn't been able to because her dad won't let her.
of course.
I think she used to like street race, and then her dad found out about that and
Yeah.
forbid it, and yeah. So, anyway, so she's looking for her first like official her own car, and her dad takes her to the junkyard
Mm-hmm.
to find a car, which I guess they're mechanics, so I mean,
Mhm.
whatever, you can fix it up.
Yeah.
Um,
It means more to you if you have to work for it,
Sure.
right? He was building character.
yes. I love that. Everything's building character with
I love-
parents.
Dad's building character. TM.
Anyway, so of course Herbie is not the car that she wants from the junk pile. That's the one
No,
she gets.
hates it, but
And she's stuck with it because the other one gets crushed right in front of her, which is very funny. But then when she starts driving Herbie, he, if you're not familiar with the story of Herbie at all,
mhm.
it's a long-standing,
Because this is a
long-standing
sequel.
movie series,
Yeah.
about a car that's alive and really good at racing, even though it's just like a bug, a VW bug.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so she starts driving it, and Herbie takes over, and she's really scared because the car is driving itself,
Yes.
which no one wants that.
Yeah, that wasn't common in the early 2000s.
Anyway, is it common now?
No, but there are self-driving cars now.
I guess. No, you're right. But they don't
yeah.
race.
True.
Self-driving cars do not suddenly
Not
take off
yet.
and pop
Ooh.
wheelies in the middle of the street.
Not yet.
Right. Well, okay.
In a few more years, Herby will be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's just a normal car. Okay, but somehow Herby basically, Lindsay Lohan's character has to race this like famous race car driver because he's having this like exhibition thing, and then Herby, without Lindsay Lohan's permission,
Yeah.
like scratches his race car.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
And so this famous driver is like, I'm going to challenge you to a race
for some reason.
because I have to prove my worth since you think it's
I have
cool
to
to
prove I'm a man.
cool to crash my car. Anyway, but then Herby beats this I think this race car in this little street race.
Yeah.
But Lindsay Lohan's really excited about this because she has missed street racing, but she can't tell her dad about this because he is forbidden it because he doesn't want her to get hurt.
Yeah.
But then her dad sees this story on the news about this random little car, her car, that beats this famous race car driver, and she goes, he goes, you were driving again? And she goes, no, that was my friend, Max. And so she ends up creating this fake persona for herself.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, my friend Max races the car. And then, the dad ends up being like, oh, this Max guy is a really good driver throughout this whole movie because
it's okay if a boy does it.
Someone who's not related.
True.
Because Lindsay Lohan's brother / his son also drives, but he wants him to stop driving too. Anyway, so this progresses. There's more and more races until she has to face off with the guy she raced the first time again, but this time in an official race instead of a street race.
Right.
But then she reveals her identity.
A girl.
A girl. It's a girl.
Gasp.
Everyone is horrified. Well,
Especially the dad.
Oh, yeah. Well, the dad's very upset, but for a legitimate reason. Everybody else, including the famous race car driver, is like, a girl.
A teenage girl? Good at something?
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
The most horrifying thing I've ever heard. Makes me think of that Jackie Mitchell we talked about on our first show.
Right.
A teenage girl who could bat out Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. Anyway. Yeah. Goodness forbid a teenage girl be good at something, but she was. Well, at least the car was. But they got better when they started working
as a team
instead of just him trying to control
It's like a
her.
Ratatouille situation.
It was very much a Ratatouille situation, actually. Okay, so basically then, she wins the race and happily ever after.
Yay. And she didn't get a man, I don't think.
She
except
does.
for the
Yes.
car.
No.
I thought
There's
the car
been a guy
was
there
her
this
man.
whole time.
Oh, of course.
It's her friend or maybe her brother's friend.
I thought you were gonna stop at her brother, and I was like,
no,
I don't remember that part.
Nope.
Okay,
it's
good.
Her friend or her brother's friend. He's a mechanic.
Okay.
And
of course he is.
Yeah, and they have a romantic entanglement throughout the course of this movie.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the car...
Does she win the race at the end, or does she lose with dignity?
I'm sure the car does some hijinks where he, makes sure they're together.
Oh, he absolutely does. But, fun fact, when the guy is trying to use Herby's mirror to look at Lindsay Lohan changing in the backseat of the car,
he won't let her.
Herby keeps moving the mirror down.
That's funny.
It is, in fact, very good.
Good guy, Herby.
Yeah, I know.
He's a car.
It's a 2005 film. I don't know. These are all so good.
Yes.
Lindsay Lohan was shocking. I think that's the last thing we really saw Lindsay Lohan in before she kind of fell off the face of.
She did a Britney Spears kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. But
of course, a lot of little starlets like that have done similar things.
That's true. I mean, but sometimes they disappear and they come back. Like we were talking about Raven Simone earlier. She kind of
disappeared for a while and then.
I want to know where the Maori twins are.
Yes, I would be interested. Did she win?
I'm looking.
Yeah. Well, I had a good
Yes, she
seg-
does.
Okay.
I need to make
She
sure I forgot.
wins the race.
Yes.
Of course she does. And she gets the boy.
yes, she
and
does.
her car that is alive. Yay.
Yay. Okay.
Speaking of starlets who disappeared
Yes. Our last
eventually.
Our last two movies that we're going to discuss very quickly because we're running out of time
Yes.
are Amanda Bynes movies. We're talking about She's the Man and
The other one.
What a Girl Wants.
Yes.
Okay. So She's the Man is basically about a girl who wants to play soccer professionally. But
It's 12th night.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically she pretends to be a man to be accepted onto the soccer team and
Yeah, like an all-boys school with like a really amazing soccer team.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So she pretends to be her brother.
Yeah.
Because her brother ran away
yeah.
to be a musician.
Something.
So she uses his name to get into the soccer school and gets into all kinds of hijinks
And
because
impresses
people think
everybody.
she's a boy. Yeah.
Sticks tampons up her nose.
Yep. They
For
accept her
nosebleeds.
as one of the boys.
Yeah. Pretty legit. And then What a Girl Wants is about this girl who's grown up with only a mom and never a dad. And every year on her birthday, she wishes to meet her dad. She doesn't know who he is. And then she suddenly finds out that he's like kind of this royal dude. This is a little bit like Princess Diaries, honestly.
Yeah.
But she, the dad's still alive, unlike in Princess Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes over there and she surprises him and says, "I'm your daughter." And so
He's
then
like, oh.
she once again is faced, because he at first is kind of like, what? But then he's like, she's my daughter. I'm going to accept her.
Mhm.
But he tries to change her into being, proper and royal and all
Yeah.
sorts of things like that. And at first she tries to fit in, but then she
This
realizes
is very
that
Princess Diaries.
oh, it absolutely is. She realizes that, that's not for her, so she doesn't choose that life in the
Right,
end of
yeah.
it. So different ending.
Yeah.
But then the dad's like, oh, wait a second. You mean I can love you and accept you anyway?
As you are.
Even if you're not going to be in my life? And so she goes back to America and stuff, and then he comes over and they have a daddy-daughter dance because she works at weddings. She's like a waitress for
Oh my gosh, yeah.
weddings, and
Yeah.
so she always gets really depressed when the daddy-daughter dance comes on, and
Aw.
she doesn't have anyone to dance with. So at the end, he comes over to America. He leaves the snooty people in Britain and comes over and gives her a daddy-daughter dance at one of the weddings, and it's
I'm
really
crying.
nice.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, but basically, it's Princess Diaries, but she's like, oh, I'm just going to go back to being my raucous teenage self, and then the dad's like, oh,
I'm a parent. I should accept my child unconditionally.
yes, it's very good.
I did
But
it.
she gets to make her own decisions, and
Yeah.
then in She's the Man, she gets to be on the soccer team despite the fact that she's a girl.
Yes.
So, yay,
Girl
Amanda
power.
Bynes, victories all around. She's in a third movie called Sydney White, but we do not have time to talk about that
We
one.
do not.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but
Oh, cool.
weirder. Alrighty, guys, we're gonna play you out with some Paramore, Ariana Grande, Amy Winehouse, and a little bit of Beyonce if you get that far.
Mhm.
So tune in next week, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, I'm Scout.
And I'm Lily.
And we are the Pop Culture Feminists. We are also part of the Cinema Gophers team.
Yep.
We'll be posting weekly podcasts, at least for a little while, talking about feminism and pop culture. Woo! If you like that, check out our other content. We got a video here,
And probably one there.
we think. Something like that. Anyway,
There's some.
catch our next podcast.
Mhm.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe
Yeah,
down
that too.
below
That too.
so you can see all the videos. We're going to have to do that again.